Listen, let's just pick that up. Conor Benn being embraced by family members, his mum, his dad, and obviously Eddie Hearn as they break away from that conversation. Hopefully we'll get some words with Gareth A. Davies and Conor very, very shortly. You can see the relief, Dave, on the man's face. This has been a family feud that has been going on for 35 years. And for him to finally get one officially over the line for the Benn family, you can see what it means to him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I thought he boxed well. Thought he did what he had to do. My overriding emotion is one of, like, I've watched Chris Eubank for a long time, 12 years, maybe 13 years. It was sad to watch, really. I know he's got paid a lot of money, but really, really tough watch. I thought really, really hard to watch. He was so bad.
From an analytical point of view, Spence, it's quite difficult now to pick the bones out of that, because you don't really want to take too much away from Conor Benn. I mean, we're talking about a lad that is a 147, 154 fighter, stepping up in weight to take on a challenge that he fell short of in April after taking a quite relatively one-sided defeat in April. But he's come back and he has performed fantastically well. Everything that he has set out to do in his camp, he has been absolutely fantastic this evening. But there will be that part of the conversation where you look at his opponent and you think, that was a shadow of his former self.
Eubank Jr was terrible tonight, but that's taking nothing away from Conor Benn. He had to deal with that emotional pressure going into the ring. He got beat in that last fight. They knew what they were both going into. He didn't know that Eubank Jr was going to turn up like that. So, you know, you look at that performance, you go, you've done the job, son. You done really well. You delivered. You know, and now it's about finding that weight category. I personally don't think he can drop back down to 147.
It'll be tough. I think it will be tough.
I think that he loses all his punch resistance, he loses all his strength, and he won't be the fighter that he is at, say, 154. I think that'll be his optimum weight. That's probably where he'll be best placed. But look, taking nothing away from him, he delivered tonight. He done the job. He done what he had to do, and that was what it was all about. You know, just getting that victory was the most important thing. So yeah, credit where credit's due.
I'm just looking at the divisions. 154 is blooming tough in it when you've got the likes of the Ennises and the Ortizes that
this is the problem.
And floating around.
And you drop down to 147.
But the opportunity is there, I think. Yeah, but I think the opportunity is there. The Rolly Romeros of this world, the Mario Barrioses. I mean, Lewis Crocker's picked up a title there, hasn't he? There's fights there, and you can make an account for Conor Benn to be competitive in those fights. Against Ennis and against Ortiz, you're probably not giving him too much of a chance.
Fair shout, yeah, fair shout. The best weight for him, the easiest weight for him to pick up a world title would be 147. He hasn't done that for 4 years, but the team think he can do it, so, you know, good luck to him. Let's see if he can drop down and pick that world title up.
What were the things that you were super impressed with tonight from him, Dave?
Not much, really. I wouldn't say I was super impressed. I thought he was patient, he jabbed well. He did what he had to do, which I thought was probably the most impressive thing I would say. He did what he had to do. He was good. He didn't have to be any better than good, though. Eubank was that bad.
Well, let's get the thoughts of Eddie Hearn, because he's with Gareth A. Davies right now.
Eddie, what an amazing performance by Conor tonight.
I mean, it was a complete shutout, wasn't it? Schooling, really. He won every round, dropped it. I mean, 10 more seconds, the fight's over. Different kind of fight, obviously, to the first fight, but needed to be. Needed to box smart and not use his emotions in there. I thought he boxed really well, busted him up to the body, and yeah, massive win for a welterweight to come up to middleweight and avenge that defeat and finally get a victory for the Benn family in the 4th episode.
35 years in the making.
Yeah,
no need for a trilogy, no?
No, we want to move back down. Conor's the new star of British boxing, you know. I mean, look, he's filled Tottenham twice, and, you know, he needed to be a bit smarter there. You know how exciting he is, but he just needed every round. I was just saying to him, just concentrate, please, just concentrate. And it's 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, and it's just don't switch off. And even was going for the finish at the end when he really didn't need to. So you're going to see him move back down to 147 now and be in some massive fights.
I was watching you towards the end where you were kind of, you know, you get very, very excited for your guys. You've been through a long journey for 3 years with Conor, with the clomiphene and everything. It's been a long, long journey.
To be honest, I just said there on the interview, you know, this is, you see, Movember, right? It's a period where we're trying to raise awareness for men who are struggling, right? And of course, you know, the suicide rate is through the roof. People don't realise what Conor Benn went through. I mean, he spent his entire life savings fight in his name.
Yeah.
You know, he put his houses up for sale. He sold all his cars. He was down and out. He was totally finished. Every time he turned on social media, people were slating him. The media were slating him without really hearing the story. And we knew what a good kid this is. We believed in him. But that's not enough. Honestly, he was so low, he was done. And somehow, through faith and determination and hard work, he found his way back in the game. And he should be an inspiration to those people. Whatever you think of him, know this, he was finished, flat on the floor. He talked about taking his own life. Look at him now, he's just filled Spurs twice. He's on top of the world. There's always a way back, and he's a great shining light for that.
Thank you, Eddie. We'll let you go and make the AJ and Jake Paul fight. Yeah, and Tony Sims is here. What vindication for you tonight, Tony. It was a brilliant fight in April, but he was amazing tonight, Conor Benn, wasn't he? You created the game plan with him. Are you delighted for him and yourself?
I am, you know, it's like I said at the press conference on Thursday. He had to make adjustments to beat Chris Eubank. He worked hard on making him adjustments. You know, he used his feet smartly, countered good. His body attacks was really good. And, you know, I just thought we outclassed Chris tonight. And, like, obviously, if the round was a bit longer in the round, it would have been all over in that 12th round. But, listen, like you say, it's vindication, and it's great to get a game plan and for your fighter to follow it like he did and win the fight really convincingly.
We're lucky enough to be able to hear what's going on between rounds as well. You kept it very cool, calm and collected, and just said to him, just keep doing what you're doing. You knew he could break through towards the end. Did you want him to get a stoppage? Did you let him off the leash at the end?
I thought he could have got the stoppage within the last 2 or 3 rounds. That's what I said to him. I didn't feel like Chris had a lot left in the tank, and he took a lot of body shots which slowed him down from the beginning, and he very nearly got that, you know. And but listen, it's just great to get the win.
For the Benns as well, because you and Nigel have been friends for 40 odd, 50 years almost.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and to be part of the redemption is fantastic. And like the last couple of years, what he went through, it was terrible. But to come out like he has there, he stuck to the game plan, boxed smartly, and basically won nearly every round. So
I think you did at least 10 out of the 12 anyway.
Yeah, it was a great win for him, and now I just want to drop him down to his natural weight at 147 and claim a world title. That's the aim.
That was my next question, really. Who would you like him to face at welterweight?
Well, obviously the Barrios fight is very appealing because he's got the WBC title, and he wants to emulate Nigel by winning a WBC title, and that would be the title we'd really want to win.
You've been through a lot as well. That the last 3 years with Conor, I mean, it must feel like a weight's lifted tonight as we wait for Conor to come over.
Yeah, exactly, you know, and obviously he went into the first fight with Chris, not making excuses, but he was out for a long time, and when you're inactive in boxing, you know, your timing you just can't get there with the timing. But tonight his timing was on point. You know, he was hitting Chris with jabs and right hands to the body. He was catching him all over, really, and his timing was good. You know, and I feel like, you know, we see the real Conor Benn tonight, and he can drop down to his natural weight, and he's a heavy-handed puncher down at welterweight. You know, it's not easy putting 160-pound fighters on the canvas, so, you know, it's, you know, I'm looking forward to boxing.
I'm going to send you over there and get in the team photo, Tony. Thank you very much indeed. Back to you guys.
Gareth, just paint a picture of what's going on right now, because there does actually feel like in that ring that there is a sense of relief. That's the key word that I think you used there with Tony Sims, that there is a sense of relief that this long wait for this moment is now here.
Absolutely, and I think it's a big family group here tonight. A big gym family group. John Ryder, Tony Sims, Dan Lawrence, his strength and conditioning coach, Nigel Benn himself. You remember they're celebrating 35 years of having lost to the Eubanks, and so this is a moment, as I was saying when I was speaking to Eddie about it and Tony about it, that they've gone through, the fathers had their 2 fights 3 years apart, and in many ways this rivalry has been 3 years apart, but for different reasons altogether, with Conor Benn trying to clear his name over those adverse drug findings. So it must be a massively emotional as well as joyous time for him tonight. I'm just going to try and get Conor as he comes over to the corner I'm in. I just want to ask Spencer and Dave really how happy they would be feeling right now if they were in the same scenario.
Yeah, listen, look, I think it's been an emotional ride for Conor Benn, isn't it? And like, he's going to feel like he's had a massive weight lifted off his shoulders. He tried, you know, for victory there back in April. It didn't go his way, but he come out with a lot of credibility. And he's gone back into that rematch with a lot of emotional pressure on his shoulders because he needed a victory and he needed it bad tonight. And he got it, and he done it in style, you know, and so you've got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, respect to that.
Come back to me.
I can throw it back to Gareth,
yes,
can I?
Please, yes, please.
Go on then, mate, you take over.
Conor, just a word. What an amazing moment. No, he's not going to talk to talkSPORT right now. He's on his way.
No problem. Let him enjoy this moment, because it is a really significant moment in the career of Conor Benn. A fantastic victory tonight, just in case you are tuning in to talkSPORT. We've been live on the Boxing YouTube channel and obviously live right across the network. It's a significant victory for him this evening, and the noise throughout the course of the week, Spencer, he was alluding to the fact that this was one and done, 2 and done at 160, and that he would go back down at some point to his more natural weight. I can see Adam Azim over there. Is he walking in the crowd? He is, isn't he? Just having a little bit of a chill, walking through the crowd there, Adam Azim, after
soaking it up a little bit, as you do,
after a victory earlier on. But yes, going back down to 147 is absolutely, for me, if he can get that body down there, and that's going to be the big thing. He spent a long time now away from 147 pounds, best part of 4 years, isn't it?
Sure.
So it's going to take some serious work getting him back down there.
Absolutely, because when you put on that muscle mass, you know, we've talked about fighters in the past going through the weights like Roy Jones did and then coming back down again, and they're never the same fighter. So look, Conor's going to have to do it, you know, he's going to have to do it carefully, and over time, but if he can get back down to 147 and perform at the highest level there, then there's the possibilities for the world titles.
Gentlemen, for your company all this week, thank you very much. Obviously, it didn't live up to the first one as a fight and as a spectacle, but as a talking point, there's lots to pick the bones out of which we're going to get stuck into with the Fight Night Daily post-event podcast. We'll get stuck into that for you shortly, and it'll be available for you on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. All the fallout on talkSPORT throughout the course of the week. Make sure you come and join us. But the headline from Tottenham Hotspur is that Conor Benn rang the bell of Chris Eubank Jr.